Newcastle United is a household name among football fans. Throughout its history, the club has experienced many highs and lows, but it has always been a source of pride for the community. However, the team is getting better. But what exactly made Newcastle United unbeatable? Let us investigate. Newcastle United Football Club is an English professional football club based in Newcastle upon Tyne. The club has been a member of the Premier League for all but 3 years of the competition's history, spending 86 seasons in the top tier and 45 in the second tier. Recently, Newcastle United was taken over by a Saudi-led consortium, and since then there have been immense improvements, both on and off the field. The team is now much more competitive than it was before the takeover, aiming to finish higher up in the Premier League table this season. The team is undergoing significant changes. In order to improve the team's performance, the club recently appointed a new manager and made several new signings. Eddie has won 21 of the 35 Premier League games in 2022, with the team scoring 57 goals and conceding 31. They were in 19th place with 15 points, having scored only 22 goals and conceded 45, making them one of the league's worst defenses. Let's return to the record after 16 games this season. They have 8 clean sheets in that number of games, with only 2 exceptions. Conceding has averaged 1 goal per game. And it was said that Eddie Howe couldn't organize a defense. Things have drastically improved in less than a year. But how did this happen? How did they achieve such rapid progress? However, it is unavoidable that the takeover has been a significant factor in their resurgence. They now have ambitious owners, not just in terms of sporting merit, but also in terms of not stifling growth. In fact, the opposite is true. They are not doing it with an open checkbook, but with limitless plans for institutional growth. With commercial expansion comes a greater ability to compete with the world's best clubs. What about the players who were already present? How did they manage to improve in the last year? Eddie Howe is the only person who can answer that question. This is a man who is completely devoted to football. He has completely altered the mentality, ambition, belief, training, and playing methods. He is friendly and professional. He is grounded. And you can tell he is proud to be the manager. It's been a pleasure to watch how he talks about the club and how that translates to the players and fans. In contrast to the previous manager, he isn't just here to see what happens. He is here to compete and ensure that they become the best. He has the will, the ability, and the resources to help this club achieve its goals slowly but steadily. He has a plan in place for each and every player on the team from the start. Everyone has been given an opportunity, and it's clear that all of the players believe in his vision. Joelinton is the most prominent example of this. He was a player purchased for more than £40 million for a role that he has proven unsuitable for. Eddie Howe wasn't going to give up on him, and his leadership in the midfield has been crucial to their comeback. He's always been capable of scoring goals, but his pivotal role in midfield has allowed him to reinvent himself and gain confidence. He hasn't looked back since Miguel Almiron was one of Rafa Benitez's most exciting signings. He has never lacked effort or determination, but for the longest time he struggled to add goals to his game on a consistent basis. He is another player who has improved since Howe began managing him, and his understanding with Bruno has contributed to this. He's brought end product, speed, and a fantastic first touch. Nick Pope has been a revelation for Newcastle United since his summer transfer from Burnley, with the England international completing a run of 10 clean sheets in a row in all competitions dating back to November. Newcastle has also recorded 12 Premier League shutouts in 20 games while conceding only 11 goals, a well-known fact on Tyneside. While Southampton's Che Adams ended Pope's clean sheet streak in midweek's 2-1 Carabao Cup win, the Magpies' defense remains the cornerstone of their success. But how do those clean sheets and goals against stats compare to the best goalkeepers and meanest defenses in Premier League history? The answer is that Pope is on course to break a Premier League clean sheet record, while Newcastle's defense is currently the league's third most ferocious since 1992. Edwin van der Sar of Manchester United currently holds the Premier League record for the most consecutive clean sheets with 14, beginning with a win over Stoke in 2008 and ending with a goal from Blackburn's Roque Santa Cruz the following February. However, Newcastle's overall defensive record this season, astonishing given that the club looked like the relegation certainties 14 months ago, stands up to historical scrutiny just as well. The Magpies are unlikely to break Chelsea's incredible record of only 15 goals conceded in a 38-game Premier League season in 2004 to 2005. While it would be unfair to claim that spending money has cured all of Newcastle's previous bills, it is undeniably true that their defensive moves in the transfer market have paid off handsomely. Kieran Trippier and Dan Burn arrived in January, followed by Nick Pope and Sven Botman in the summer. Fabian Schär is the only remaining member of Newcastle's now firmly established back five from the first half of last season, with the likes of Jamal Lascelles, Ciaran Clark, Javier Manquillo, and Paul Dummett having fallen out of contention. Newcastle's additions have all been beneficial. Pope has established himself as one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League since moving to Tyneside from Burnley. Trippier has provided leadership, dynamism, and a mean delivery from set pieces, and Botman has continued to improve since joining from Lille in the summer. Byrne's success has come as a surprise, given that he began his career in non-league with Blyth Spartans and Darlington, and spent 4 relatively unremarkable years with Brighton before joining Newcastle. He's been a revelation since moving to left-back with his performance against Bukayo Saka on Tuesday evening. Despite an admittedly shaky start, possibly representing his best outing for his hometown club. "Dan gives us so much," said Howe. "I can't speak highly enough of him. I think his performance sort of typifies that. In the first 5 minutes of the game, he was up against a tough opponent who gave him a couple of problems, but then Dan's experienced enough and wise enough just to adjust his game and find a solution to that problem. Aerially, he's obviously very good, and physically, he's very good. But he's also a leader, and his voice is key to us." The importance of Howe's role in bringing the defense together should not be underestimated, with the quality of the head coach's work on the training ground, as well as that of his assistant, Jason Tindall, clearly visible in the way Newcastle's backline functions as a unit. Howe has clearly earned the respect of those who play for him as an obsessive detailer, whose coaching sessions are extremely technically detailed. Armed with a database of over 500 training sessions, he does everything he can to avoid repeating drills, with Mark Leyland, recruited from Liverpool in an analytics role, also playing a key role in developing defensive sessions. Newcastle's defenders have clearly brought into the no stone unturned approach, and Howe and his fellow coaches are teaching them how to function as a unit, with each of Newcastle's current first-choice defenders able to play to their strengths. However, as Howe is quick to point out, Newcastle's defending is more than just the custodian and back four, and the fundamental shift in the team's approach when they do not have the ball has been another key factor in their tremendous improvement. The Magpies were passive and reactive under Bruce, standing off opponents and second-guessing their next attacking move in an attempt to cut it out. Newcastle play on the front foot, in and out of possession, hassling and harrying opponents, pressing high up the pitch and limiting the opposition's ability to enter the attacking third. This season, Joelinton and Miguel Almiron have topped the Newcastle charts for defensive running and challenges made on multiple occasions. "The defense is functioning very well," reflected Howe. "That's not just down to the goalkeeper and the back four, although they will quite rightly get a lot of the credit. I think the team has been protecting them very well. I think we've got a newfound resilience to the team, and I think a lot of that is not just physical, it's mental as well. We manage to withstand pressure. The players' fitness levels are very high, and the collective energy is very good at the moment. I think all those things combined mean we haven't been conceding." United has risen to third place in the Premier League table as a result of their post-summer improvements. Right now, it is not an exaggeration to say that United are among the best in the league. While the players cross the white line onto the pitch, Howe and his team ensure that they are fully prepared and ready for every match. If this is what Newcastle United is capable of in a year, their future looks as bright as it has ever been. What are your thoughts on this? Are you a Newcastle fan? Do you believe they will become as powerful as ever? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.